Hello and welcome to the Arsenal BiteSize Podcast. I'm your host Clayton at Clates AFC on Twitter. This is a Brighton review podcast, and to timestamp this, it's 7:30 p.m. on the 7th of April. There's 7 games to go in the Premier League, and Liverpool have dropped points. So even though it's a Brighton review podcast, we have to talk about it. Liverpool have dropped points. The Arsenal are joint top of the league. We're both on 71 points, Arsenal and Liverpool. We're ahead on goal difference. Obviously, we've got 51, they've got 42. We're 1 point ahead of City, and there's 7 cup finals to go. I don't even know where to start, to be honest. Obviously, when we do these review podcasts, it's literally straight in, go play. When I do the solo ones, we go player by player, talk about the game. But I feel like I have to start with the context of the title race. Like, I have said for a while, I'm in the camp of, in my opinion, I don't think Liverpool have been lucky and this and that, but I do believe there has been this unsustainability to them in the manner in which they're getting their points. And you look at all of the expected metrics, they're not near us. And I see a lot of similarities between them this season and Arsenal last season. And I felt like they'll drop points, but it's just hard to see it coming because they've just suddenly always found a way somehow. But today they've actually dropped points, and I'm not getting too carried away because we still have a tough run. But to welcome into the chat, Uncle Mike's in, up the Arsenal. Hello, mate. We've both said, like, my own opinion on Arsenal is we have a tough run, granted, and obviously combined with the Champions League quarterfinals in there, I don't know how it will go. This is new to us in terms of managing the squad every 3 days with this level of opponent and needing to maximize freshness while changing things tactically. So I don't know how it will go. But if I look at the 7 Premier League games in isolation, forget looking at it as a block of 7. If you just look individually at each game, I just have this thing in me where I believe this Arsenal squad and manager is capable of managing that 90 to 100 minutes in isolation and maximizing absolutely everything tactically with what's available within the starting 11 and on the bench to manage game states. And I can't put it into words. It's just, and it's perspective again. When I look at it as a block of 7 and combined with the Champions League, I'm like, oh, of course we're going to drop points because there's some tough games in there. And the Champions League, I think, will have an effect that I don't really know how it will go. But when I look at it in isolation, game by game, I just think that this team and manager is of such a ridiculous level that if you told me come May the 19th, we didn't drop a single point, there is an element in me that wouldn't be surprised. And that is fucking mind-blowing. Again, I'm saying I think we'll drop points because I'm a human. There's natural fan pessimism in me, and that's what happens. Surely no team goes on and wins 7 Premier League games of that difficulty level, let's say, with what's to come, combined with Champions League rotation. But I don't think this is a normal team. I genuinely think we're watching a generational team in front of our eyes. And I went to Brighton yesterday, and in the car there with my mates was saying, like, I genuinely think sometimes I forget how good this team is in the days in between the games, and then they play their football, and I'm like in awe in what I'm seeing. I don't think I've ever seen an Arsenal team play to this level of dominance, like ever. And it's a refresher for me every time I go and watch them. So let's see. It's I do, despite all of those beliefs I've got, I think my brain is split in 2 right now. One is that what I've just said in isolation. I absolutely believe in this group to go and win every single game in isolation. But the other half of my brain is just take it one game at a time, because as a block, it is tough and you don't know about mitigating circumstances and things like fatigue, morale. We don't know about any of that stuff, and it could impact it. And it's new to them, right? We don't know. So we'll see. It's split. My brain's split in 2 right now, but Jesus Christ, it's on. It is very much on. And if you are lucky enough to have a ticket for any single game for the rest of the season, please bring your A game. I was very vocal about it. The Luton at home game, I was sat there with my hot chocolate. I was trying not to get as involved because I thought the team would have enough. They didn't need the 12th man in that game, and I'm going to be honest, it is draining me. It is exhausting, even like especially the away games, like the travel, the amount of energy you exert and getting behind them. Like I am feeling burnt out in this title race, and I'm not even playing. But despite that, I'm looking at the fixtures, and there's no more games I look at where I think I can just rock up. The team don't need the 12th man. I could sit there with a hot chocolate. None of that anymore. I think it's going to be the pints of lager, get the vocals lubricated, get behind the team, and I am going to burn myself into the ground to get behind this team for the run-in. So please join me if you're lucky enough to have a ticket for any single game. They're going to need us. And I genuinely think with how powerful our fan base is, I think we can drag them the whole way there, home and away. I really do. So up the fucking Arsenal. But on to the Brighton game, mate. Unbelievable. How should I do this? Because obviously when I do the solo ones, I tend to mix it up between like general chat and player by player. I'll do a little bit of general chat and then I'll go player by player. So general chat. So feelings wise, it was it was an interesting one. Like going into the game, I was more confident than I possibly should have been in the context of Brighton. Obviously not. Brighton were, I think, unbeaten at home since August. And typically they're a very well-coached team. De Zerbi, I think, is an absolute spot-on tactician. We've seen in the past they've given us problems in spells. But there was just this feeling in me that, again, and I had this when I went to City, that when I was traveling there, I just didn't feel this element of nerves. And I've been thinking about this a lot, and you think of Arteta's some of his press conferences, some of the documentary stuff, he talks about confidence, right? And even the general definition of confidence, I'm not going to pretend I know what the actual definition is off the top of my head, but confidence is something where if you're well prepared, you just feel confident. And bear with me here because this is a weird thought process I'm going with. With players, I think they build confidence, and they've cited Arteta with this when he tells them about an action that's going to happen on the pitch and then it happens. And I think they get a sense of confidence in that because they feel so well prepared to deal with every scenario. And in a roundabout way, I think that's the feeling I have as a fan of this team and why I feel so confident and nerveless when is nerveless? Is that the right word? The opposite of feeling nervous, whatever that is, confident. I think that's the feeling I have as a fan because I know I'm going into a situation with this team where I know how well drilled they are. Even City away last week, I said that I didn't think we were going to lose. Did I think we were going to win? Like, I wasn't wholeheartedly confident in that, but I was pretty confident we wouldn't lose. And it just speaks to the level of how prepared they are for every situation, every game, every different permutation that's going to come up. It just shows that they're so well prepared. And again, in the car yesterday, my other mate was making a good point. You don't again, like this may come back to bite me, but I would be doing myself a disservice if I didn't speak truly about how I'm feeling. And usually when teams have a little wobble, there tends to be a warning sign. This is what my friend said. I'm paraphrasing what he said, so I'm stealing his words here, but there tends to be the odd wobble. There tends to be the odd the odd wobble. I don't need to verbal diarrhea it. There is no sign of that with this team. Absolutely nothing. And if we flop in a game, I think that will come out of the blue. But there's nothing to suggest that something like that's going to happen. And I think that's why, as a fan base, we have so much confidence. And I think people will point to they've not achieved anything, this group, this and that. And it's like, you have to be a severely blind, ignorant fan of any club to just ignore the evidence of where this is headed. When we, in air quotes, bottled top four, we were putting up top European metrics across the world. From that, I remember it was that like kind of March to the end of the season period. When we, in air quotes, bottled the title, we saw what we did with a team that wasn't actually, in anyone's opinion, going to challenge for the league that previous summer. Again, some people were talking about ceilings, and this season we knew as Arsenal fans what this team is capable with. Sure, it took a little while for fluidity to adapt and stuff, but look at it now. This is an absolutely absurd level that we're performing at. And I know this is a tangent, but I think it's just this level of confidence I've got regardless of what happens this season, I would put a huge sum of money on this Arsenal team dominating for years. I don't think people grasp just what they are witnessing right now. I think we are watching the evolution of a super team right in front of our eyes. This level of dominance is not normal. And I can't even remember what my original point was, but I just went on a tangent there. But it's important. It's so important to acknowledge what we are doing here. And yeah, again, God knows what will happen this season. We may end up losing the title, but I really believe that 2024 has been the start of this new Arsenal dominant era. I think we've shown signs earlier in the season and stuff, but I really believe that now, like if the season started in 2024, I'd be so confident in us winning the league. Unfortunately, there were still teething issues earlier in the season. We had our own blips. That these things are normal. I'm so confident that going forward, this team is going to be so well prepared to deal with adverse situations, more than you believe. So yeah, let's see how we get on. But 7 cup finals to go, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about how I was feeling on the way there. I think the start of that tangent was me talking about going up on the way and just not feeling nervous. As the game started, that's when the nerves kicked in. But even that, like, I wouldn't even say we were brilliant in the first half, to be honest. I thought there was some sloppy passes. We missed a couple of chances. Gabriel could have done better with a header, but we just adapt. And we have got so much strength in our squad to just be able to change the course of a game. And I think our manager is one of the best around at spotting patterns as well. So, yeah, let me go through and actually talk through player by player how I thought it went. Raya, brilliant. That save, oh my God, I actually missed that save that was heading for the top bins because I'd broken the seal and I went to have a wee. I couldn't hold myself. So I was coming back into my seat and heard everyone go, oh, and had no idea what was going on. But brilliant. The way he sets up attacks, adds that kind of slowing down element to us when we need to, dictating tempo, top class. Benny White, I fucking love this guy, and I love him because he pisses everyone off. Was the play acting embarrassing? Yeah, like, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I don't like seeing stuff like that, if I'm being honest. And when it's someone else, I'll be the first to criticize. But he's not someone else. He's one of ours, and you can see it even in the away end. I don't know what I'm saying, even in the away end. More so in the away end. At the end, when he was coming over to the fans and everyone's singing his name, like I think he is, Clive says this a lot, he is a misunderstood player. But to add to Clive's point, I think he's found an environment where he's understood, and it's an inclusive environment to make him feel at home and feel like he belongs and he can be himself and he can get the best out of himself. And Mikel Arteta is the man for that, because I look at the England camp and I think that's an absolute embarrassment to design an environment that isn't that inclusive of everyone because he's a different character. Fuck him, man. Honestly, absolutely fuck them. Club over country all day long. Benny White, top guy. In possession, out of possession. Provides an outlet every now and then as well. Saliba, Gabriel, absolute top class as well. Just warriors. Like, even the thing from Gabriel at the end when he's celebrating like we won the bloody league to get that clean sheet, like that, I went mental with that because you could see it from where we were. It was the other end to us, but you could see it so clearly, and it just riles you up. It's I love it. I love it so much. Zinchenko, I thought he was better. I thought he was okay. Some good touches on the ball. He did his thing, right? I do think people are going a bit overboard about how much he was targeted. I'm not going to lie. In the game, I thought they're targeting it, but I think I only seem to remember him being isolated like twice, maybe 1v1, and I'm sure one was because of Gabriel anyway. But I thought it was an okay performance. I'm being conscious of what I say because obviously Uncle Mike told me I was being harsh on Wednesday, but I still stand by what I said on Wednesday, to be fair. And I think, I'm pretty consistent in what I think on Zinchenko. High risk, high reward. Sometimes it looks brilliant. Sometimes you're a little bit nervy, but good performance. Jorginho, top quality. Controlled the tempo, got on the ball more than he was able to in the City game. Got on the ball, really popped it around, really nice. Same with Odegaard. yeah, really impressive performance. And Declan Rice, like, do you know how absurd it is to be singing "We got him half price" and no one really call you out on it? Like, he is an absolute freak, and I really like what he brings to the team when he plays with Jorginho as well, because I think between the two of them, they've got that combination of Rice's athleticism with Jorginho's on-ball quality. One must say, though, to be fair to the opposition, Baleba, he turned Rice a couple of times. Oh, I say a couple. There was one I remember distinctly, but there was a few times where they were running through gaping holes. So I do think sometimes maybe we got to press a little bit wrong, but it didn't matter in the end. Again, like, these are they're not minor details, but sure, you can get through our midfield and run out of defense, but then there's the bloody Great Wall of China there, and you just can't penetrate it. So it's like every phase and block, it's like, well done, you get past challenge one. Do you know how I would describe it? It's like playing Arsenal is a video game, and you start in levels. So level 1 is beat the attackers, level 2 is beat the midfielders, level 3 is beat the defense. And it's almost like you're given like 10 lives, and you beat the forward line, but it's like you've lost 3 lives there, so you're down to 7 already. Then you beat the midfielders, and you're down to you've lost a few more lives, and then you get to the defense, and then it's just like KO. And it just feels like we just suck the life out of teams, even when they're coming at us. Like, we do it both by suffocating them with the ball, but even getting through us, it's like one blow after another blow after another blow in terms of getting past our forwards, getting past the midfielders, and then being faced with that wall. It must be exhausting trying to break us down. So yeah, top class. And then the forward line, Jesus left wing, really liked that inclusion. My mate Lee's in the chat with Ale. Lee called it, actually, when I asked him what he thought about the predicted team. He said he thought we'd go something similar to City, and obviously in that game it was Havertz up top, Jesus left wing, Rice, Jorginho, Odegaard midfield. So yeah, it would be interesting to see if that's something that he's got his eyes on for the Champions League. I'll talk about Havertz in a second, but Saka, yeah, really well done to put his penalty away, and yeah, it was just nice to see him get a start. I'm not sure if he's fully fit, but he was able to get 64 minutes, got himself a goal. Off he goes home. Hopefully put his legs in those hydro leg things to rest and recover and be ready for Tuesday. Going back to Jesus, really well done to win the penalty. Don't know what the hell people are on about. It's 100% a penalty. Just because you touch the ball, it doesn't mean it's not a foul. Like, I could touch the ball while 2-footing someone in their kneecap. And I know that's an exaggeration, but it's clearly a foul. Lamptey just about touched the ball, but then continued to take out Jesus. So yeah, really liked that. Brilliant touch from him as well, by the way, from the crossfield pass to take it in his stride and then dink round. Havertz, I'm growing to love this guy. I've said it for a while, even when I was fairly critical of him earlier in the season. Something about his introverted nature and him being a bit shy, it makes you really want to root for him. And I really like this relationship he's got with Jorginho. Jorginho puts certain balls into spaces that forces him to make a run, and I just love what he does offensively and defensively. His movement's unbelievable, and even for the goal, the way he's running on the blind side of Dunk and then dinks around into the other way, overlapping run by Jorginho, the marauding winger Jorginho, top class. Yeah, and that was a lovely goal to obviously take us 2-0 up, 62nd minute, and once that went in, I was absolutely cruising. Just thought it was absolutely job done. Managed the subs really well. Then Martinelli, Trossard came on for Saka and Jesus. For bringing on Tommy to just shut out a game was like, yeah, job done. He came on for Zinchenko. And then we got the third, and what a goal by Trossard. He was getting booed, which I was going to say I found that weird. Actually, I can understand it, to be fair. If he fell out with the previous manager during that regime, you can kind of understand why people won't be on his side. But he did the business. I was behind that goal. The limbs were fucking mental. I'd say the limbs for Havertz's one were actually unreal as well. There was a guy slapping the back of my head, and I've got a bit of a headache from it. But yeah, class. I actually thought Trossard messed it up, to be fair, when he was one-on-one. I missed the little Alexis Sanchez against West Ham dink, so I didn't quite see that. But yeah, great finish. And then we finished it off by bringing on Nketiah for Vieira. So job done. I just want to read through some of the stats. Like away to Brighton, who, as I've said, have got one of the best tactically astute coaches, I want to say. I know they can be very inconsistent, but I think in terms of his tactical aptitude and his ability to set up a team for a specific game, you've seen it with what they've done in some big games, right? To go there and perform like this amongst some difficulties in the first half where the technical level was a little bit off, we looked little bit shaky in some periods, to then go and finish the game with an expected goals, according to FOTMob here, of 3.39 to their 0.53, 20 shots to their 10, 7 shots on target to their 2, is absolutely insane. It is just not normal. And I wish I couldn't. So I'm having some technical issues, so I want to try get the Arsenal match report up, but I can't get that in front of me right now because I know they usually put some nice statistics out there. But unbelievable performance and just a walk in the park in the end. I think that's the thing that's not normal for me. Like, these games should not be a walk in the park. I said in the preview I was nervous because this has banana skin vibes about it. And then, like I said, once the day came along, once I listened to the pressers, once I'm consuming content, I get myself there, I rewatch some of the highlights, and I remind myself of the level of this team. And it is an absolute pleasure to be on this journey with them. So yeah, that's a nice, short, snappy Brighton review. I know I could have gone in a lot more detail, but as I've said in the last few episodes, we've committed to doing a preview and review podcast for every single episode. So it's a lot of work that goes into these. So I'm trying to keep them really snappy, really high level. I do actually quite miss doing the statistical analysis that Nima and I do. So we'll see if we've got time, maybe after one of the games, we'll see if we can try and do a few of them again. But give me feedback. I don't know what you guys prefer, to be fair. If you like these short, snappy, high-level reviews, let me know. If you like a combination of that and the deep dive stats ones that we do, let me know. And if you just prefer the deep dive stats ones where we look through mark our stats models, we had context to the game through a statistical lens, yeah, please let me know. I have no idea what you guys prefer. But at the moment, running with this just because the schedule's relentless. So again, to timestamp this, it's Sunday evening, 7th of April, 8 p.m. I will be doing a Bayern Munich quarterfinal preview pod tomorrow on Monday. The game's obviously on Tuesday, so I'll look to do a review either after the game or on the Wednesday. And then we've got Villa on the weekend, so we're doing another preview on the Friday, then a review on the Sunday, Monday. Got the Bayern away trip, which I'll be going to. So I'll be looking to see if either Nima can do a preview for that, or if I can get, if I can try and do one pre-recorded or something. So yeah, time is of the essence. So ignore my rambling, but please give me feedback. I don't know what you guys prefer, but we're mixing it up. It's an experiment. But thanks as always for joining, guys. If you're enjoying it and you're liking the volume of content, let's say, please drop the stream a like, hit that subscribe button, share it with your mates, see if people, if you think it's something people will enjoy, please share it and drop us a review on your audio platforms. That's everything from me. My biggest message is just, if you're lucky enough to be going, get behind these guys, man. On Tuesday, oh my God, I can't even begin to comprehend what that atmosphere is going to be like. The atmosphere in the away end against Brighton was unbelievable. My ear is still ringing. Like this, I'm in bloody pain from going to the games. Like it's I know it's such first world problems, but I am feeling fatigued. My ears are ringing. I've got a knee injury. I've damaged my elbow. I've got a whack on the head. I've got a headache. But it's so worth it. I wouldn't change it for the world. I can feel my throat's going as well. So go to war with these guys, man, because it will be worth it at the end of the season. Honestly, what football and the Arsenal does to you is absolutely bonkers, but I wouldn't change it for the world. And just quickly, actually, a random point, but where Lee joined in the chat saying LA, 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 I don't know if anyone else notices this, but for me, you know the sign of when a game is done and dusted for Arsenal? When the renditions of our LA, LA, LA song goes around and it's like 4, 5, 6 minutes, that's when I know the job's done. I don't know what it is, but it's like there's a sense of confidence and pride in the way we sing it that's different to like a motivating way. It's almost like job's done. We're here to like sing about our history and stuff now. I can't really put it into words, but there's been a few games now where there's like a rendition of it and it goes consecutively. And I'm just like, yeah, job's done. And after, again, random one. I don't know what it is about that song, but that drains me as well. Like, I think it's like, because you have to proper belt it and it goes for so long. It's part-time job this, honestly, but I wouldn't change it for the world. So yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Really enjoyed this one. Thanks for keeping me company in the chat. On to Bayern. I'll be doing the preview either tomorrow or on the day of the match on Tuesday. So I'll let you guys know. Let's fucking do this. 7 cup finals in the league. And we don't know how many games left in the Champions League. But right now we've got 2 quarterfinals ahead of us. And one of my mates I'll be going with to Bayern. The away leg is on his birthday. So let's make history, guys. Up the fucking Arsenal. Come on.